glad it was all smoke and mirrors.
I forgot. Alright, let's look at this too.
You can now feel the clothes on your body. Really gonna do 5 nights of this? I guess it's not too many nights. You know, I'm the one carrying this whole game. They should make me a makeshift plushie. Yeah, don't count on beating 40-20 with this gameplay, pal.
Well, hey there. Isn't it fancy catching you here? You know, it's been a while since we last spoke.
Can you get jump scared already? I'm falling asleep
Things
over
going
here.
well? You know, thinking about meeting up with old friends after a while. I met up with my old friend Montgomery Gator. You know, people know him as Monty. Is his stage name for that whole Rockstar gig. But
I'm moving
ever
in
since
real
he
time.
picked up that Rockstar gig, he never really had time for any of his old friends or hanging out. And, you know, I was a big However, the other day, he called me and asked, "Hey, Monty,
I can't believe you're playing this
Hippo,
after the controversy.
you wanna get
Everybody's
jumping,
heard about it.
go
Can't believe you
fishing?"
develop a shot of me.
Now, of course, I couldn't say no to that, so I packed my fishing gear. I put it on the back of the truck and I drive over to where he set me up, which was this old shack a couple counties over. Now, I don't know why he'd asked me to drive so far, but the old shack was
If
stationed
you're recording
right
this for a
next to
video,
this old,
I'm gonna be expecting
pond.
a cut of the ad revenue.
And he stated that it was a very good pond for fishing. But I digress. So I drive over. I meet him over at the old shack. Creepy old shack it was. Covered in mold.
Why do the
wood
doors
was
need
barely
power to
holding
stay
together,
closed?
and there was spider webs everywhere. And I'd asked him, "Hey, Monty, is this your shack?" And I assume he didn't hear me, because instead of answering my question, he looked over to me and held up this big burlap sack he was carrying. And he
Alright,
said,
here's a really cool
Hey,
challenge.
Hippo,
Beat the night with the audio
I got a quick
your
hand
monitor
chucking
off,
this
and
here
the
bag
computer
of
unplugged.
compost into the pond.
Now, of course, not much of a botanical man myself, so I had to ask him, "Why would you need to fertilize a pond? Nothing's growing in there." And Monty, he looked over at me, looked away, looked over to me again, looked at the bag, looked at me.
God, I
He said,
really
"Well,
hope you
there
talking
is,
is making this an important audio clip right
seaweed
now.
at the bottom of the pond here. It's good for the fish.
And of course, who am I to question a man who's grown up around bodies of water his whole life? So, I obliged and helped him chuck the bag into the river, but I couldn't help but notice these two lumps on the bag. Kind of reminded me of rabbit ears they did, so I asked, "Hey, why is the bag so lumpy?" And he responded,
I thought dead animal or something. Yeah, dead rabbit, a little rabbit got into the bag. You know what happens every once in a while, but carcasses are good for the pond.
Now, again, I'm not one to question my friend's knowledge, so I just waved it off and helped him chug it into the pond. And, almost at the
Press
very
Alt
moment,
F4 to unlock
the
this.
bag hits the water. He looks over to me.
It's like, hey, thanks, wonderful help. I gotta go now. Now.
And, I chime in. I say, well, we gotta go fishing. And, he looks over to me and says,
Well, I forgot my fishing rod.
and I point over to the spare that I bring just in case, my rod snaps. And, he scratches the back of his head and responds,
Well, there's no fish left in the water.
fish pen. Not really one to knowledge, so I shrug and get back to the truck, right home. And, looking
Sorry,
back,
I was thirsty.
Monty was erotic. He was looking over his shoulder all the time, asked me if I'd been followed, and, a lot of mannerisms that actually...
Hey, Big Brother pulled through after all. You should probably get the guy who was playing horribly before back on here, though.
That was actually way easier than the last challenge. Next up, Demo Demons. Yeah, this was actually pretty fun. I'm not gonna do a compilation video. Bye bye.